So welcome back, friends. Yesterday we had a little nervous trading in the Indian markets, and I'll tell you, it was more than just profit booking, which obviously was one of the reasons, but there was something else which was lurking in the background. Now, at a time when India and the United States are looking to seal a trade deal, the Trump administration has dealt a fresh blow to India's trade and strategic ambitions by removing sanctions on the sanction waivers from the Chabahar port. Now, as you know, India has been operating the Shahid Beheshti terminal at Chabahar from the year 2018. So it's been 7 years, and this has enabled India to establish trade routes and deliver humanitarian and other aid to Afghanistan and Central Asian countries. And the most important thing is, all this was while circumventing Pakistan. Okay, so this was one of the very, very important ports of entry. The withdrawal of exemptions was anticipated for months following Trump's executive order in January. So it's not something that came as a surprise. But the State Department and the Treasury Department officially announced a decision earlier this week, and it has come and become public now, citing their strategy of maximum pressure on Iran due to its alleged support to regional terrorist parties, proxies, and advanced weapon systems that pose a direct threat to the US forces and its allies. The Secretary of State has withdrawn the sanctions exemption granted in 2018 under the Iran Freedom and Counter-Proliferation Act (IFCA) for Afghanistan's reconstruction and economic development, aligning with President Trump's stringent policy to isolate Iran. This revocation takes effect from September 29, 2025. The State Department announced that following this revocation, individuals operating the Chabahar port or participating in IFCA-related activities could face sanctions. Now, this does impact some of the Indian companies and the Indian government itself, and that's not very good news for India, for the Indian government. The decision directly impacts India's state-operated India Ports Global Limited, which is IPGL, which has managed the Shahid Beheshti terminal at the port, as I told you, since 2018. So the initial waiver was provided by the Trump administration under IFCA, recognizing the port's significance for Afghanistan's reconstruction and economic growth. Now, the removal of the waiver represents an unexpected setback from the United States, as Chabahar functioned as a strategic counter to Chinese regional dominance, particularly in relation to the China-supported Gwadar port in Pakistan. So these ports are positioned just about 170 kilometers apart. Chabahar was essential not only for delivering humanitarian aid to Afghanistan, which Pakistan had obstructed, but also functioned as a crucial center for the International North-South Transport Corridor, or INSTC as it is popularly called. This multimodal transport initiative aimed to establish connections between India, Iran, Russia, and Central Asia. In ancient times, before Pakistan's establishment as a nation state, the renowned historian Al-Biruni had documented in the Tariq al-Hind that India's coastal boundary began at this, which is now known as Chabahar. Okay. In 2024, India had signed a 10-year pact to operate the strategically vital Chabahar port in Iran, aiming to boost trade with Central Asia. Positioned on the Gulf of Oman and initially conceived by New Delhi in 2003, the port functions as an important transit point for Indian products seeking entry into Afghanistan and Central Asia. This connection will utilize the international north-south traditional transport corridors, road and rail rings, and now that all stands in trouble. On May 13, 2024, India Ports Global Limited has signed a long-term contract with Iran's Port and Maritime Organization, IGPL, plan to contribute about $120 million, complemented by an additional $250 million obtained through debt funding. Okay. So now this is something that it is also adjacent to both the Strait of Hormuz and the Indian Ocean. Chabahar offered important strategic advantages. The Kandla port in Gujarat is the closest Indian port to Chabahar, situated 550 nautical miles away, whereas the distance between Chabahar and Mumbai measures 786 nautical miles. Several Central Asian nations, including resource-rich but landlocked countries such as Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan, have also shown interest in using Chabahar to secure access to the Indian Ocean region and the Indian market. Now, all this stands in disarray. Not a very happy development, and that's probably one of the reasons why the markets have fallen yesterday. It's not something to be taken very lightly, but you should not be overly worried. There are other things that are advantageous to India, which we will discuss in due course as we make some new videos and new literature we discuss. And those who desire to know what's the impact going to be on the Indian markets next week and beyond, do join our Premium Plus, which gives you 10 to 12 days predictions on the markets. Number to get in touch is 982-086-1044. Please WhatsApp us on 982-086-1044 and join our Premium Plus. You get, after all this is incorporated, you will get a view of our markets as they go from here from 22nd of September. Happy investing. Have a nice day.